Welcome to this presentation on the WIDA Can Do Descriptors. Today we are going to take what we already know about WIDA proficiency levels and learn how to better use this data to inform instruction. We all come in with a different understanding and comfort level of the Can Do descriptors. To get us all on the same page, let's talk about ways that educators can use the Can Do descriptors. On the right side of the screen, the quote reads, "The Can Do descriptors highlight what language learners can do at various stages of language development." It's all in the name. It's what students can do based on their WIDA proficiency levels. So in reading the bullet points in the left, educators can use the Can Do descriptors to better understand what students at different levels of language proficiency can do with language, expand their understanding of what the process of language development can look like, collaborate around scaffolding that students need to engage in content area learning and develop language at the same time, differentiate instruction and classroom assessment for language, and interpret access for ELL's test scores. In order to find the Can Do descriptors, you'll need to navigate to the WIDA website. The address is below, or you can simply type in WIDA Can Do descriptors into Google to get to this page. Go ahead and do this so you can follow along with the grade level that is relevant to you. Feel free to pause the video to do this. When you get here, select the appropriate grade band in the left column that says Key Uses Edition. If you work with students younger than kindergarten, continue scrolling down the page to find the early years Can Do descriptors. These are organized by student age rather than grade level. The Can Do descriptors for grades K-12 are organized into 4 overarching communicative purposes called key language uses. The key uses are recount, explain, argue, and discuss. Pause this video and take a minute to read through the descriptions, example tasks, and think about how it could apply to your role. If you work with students younger than kindergarten, your key uses of language are divided up into express self, recount, and inquire. If you haven't already, choose a grade level band and open up the Can Do descriptors. At the top on the left, you will see the grade level band. I'm in the grade 6 through 8 band. On the far left, you will see the key use. The key use pictured is recount. The left columns of the chart in gray will show the modes of communication. There will be 4 modes: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Along the top row, with the multicolors, you will see their English language proficiency level. The next step of this is to see where your individual students are. This will help you determine what they are able to do in English. Once you have your students' access scores handy, you can connect the Can Do's with the student. This is a sample of an individual student report. You may also have access to access scores in different formats, depending on your role. The modes of communication, or language domains that you want to hone in on, are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. While we use the overall score for determining when students are ready to be reclassified, for our purposes today with the Can Do descriptors, we will just focus on listening, speaking, reading, and writing as individual domains. Here's a better view of that top section of the access report from the last slide. Now let's go ahead and connect the scores with the Can Do's. If you have access to any scores right now, go ahead and pull out an individual student's scores. This sample has a listening score of 2.8. While he is approaching the ELP level of 3, ELP meaning English language proficiency, I will still look at the ELP level 2. In listening, he should be ready to recount by sequencing labeled visuals per oral directions and identify setting or time frames in narrative or informational scenarios that are read aloud. Also, because I want to use scaffolding in the class, I might also glance over ELP Level 3. I know these are things that he will be ready for next in the area of recounting. I will continue learning about what the student is ready to do in English by looking at their speaking score, reading score, and writing score. Keep in mind that there are 4 key uses. Some may be more applicable to what you teach than others. Use this information to get what you need out of it. Pause this video and read more about the levels of your students and what your students are ready to do. When you are ready, continue the video. Going through all of this information for each multilingual student is a big job. We want to address our students' needs, but we also need to be efficient about doing it. So, now that you have a basic understanding of the Can Do descriptors, we will look at the column on the right. These documents, again, are organized by grade bands. Open up the one that best fits your needs. This time, I chose grades 2-3, as indicated on the upper right-hand side. This document will let you record the language levels for all of your multilingual students by domain. The chart on the left is for the domain of listening. The chart on the right is for speaking. Then there is another page that will include reading and writing. You can also see on this sheet that there is a preview of the can-dos by types of key uses. It is not a comprehensive list like we looked at earlier, but it's a quick way to pull all of your students together in one place so you can analyze their language levels and think through what they are able to do. The next step is to reflect on your current class, content, and language expectations. Do they align with the needs of your multilingual learners? If so, great. If not, the next step is to have discussions about how some learning tasks can be reframed to accommodate the language readiness for multilingual learners. This is not something you need to do alone. You can reach out to your team, multilingual CNIs, or department chairs. This slide contains some support types that help make learning comprehensible for multilingual students.